Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I guess we're good. Uh, yeah, yeah. Charlie, make we do so then get this over and done with at least for today. So I'm gonna put for the TikTok, then we resume. You hear
Mm-hmm.
me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
So I'm just gonna hit on the Boxing Ghana page real quick. Give me just like 30 seconds, then we start. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. They're online at the back because the other one he went there. Okay, so I'll come to the page now. Great. So 30 seconds in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10. Then we start. Okay, so let's go. Well, many thanks once again for joining us on the set. Do forgive us, beginning of everything is difficult, and just like the usual, we are also facing challenges here and there, of course. But I'm sure that as and when time goes on, these things will be nipped in the bud, as they always say in boxing and even football, in sports as in general. Once again, my name is Samuel Kusine. Many thanks that you are able to join me on this platform. Because of challenges, we've had to do it on our own page, and we try to connect it to the Boxing Ghana platform. Hopefully, you shouldn't have challenges to that effect. Of course, I'm trying to get a whole mic here, so say, so that you'll be able to hear me and hear me better. But give us feedback if as and when you have challenges, so that we can do it. But let's not let that take what we really want to talk about today. There's a lot to talk about, but our main center of occupation is what we call boxes and management contracts. We today trying to explain to people what it is about, what are the responsibilities of a boxer, responsibilities of a manager. We also try and zoom it to our Ghanaian, landscape where we have so many challenges, difficulties here and there. You have some managers uh, putting themselves in the fray as if not only are they managers, but they are promoters. Some also feels like they are the owners of the boxes and all that. We will try and dissect all that. Some even coaches who've been like a long time parties of boxers equally also feels like they also have a share. Of course, they do have a share in that boxer, but not like they seemingly try to imagine it. So there's a lot to talk about. Like I always tell you, this show is match packed. You can join me on the set by liking, commenting, sharing on the page, as you can see. So you can actually send your comments on this page. We'll try and rope in the head of communications for the Ghana Boxing Authority, talking about Derek Nia Sayankra as well, to make contributions on certain things. He's also well built when it comes to the GBA constitution. So, like I said, it's not just me and Daniel David Cote trying to dissect everything. We equally invite resource people who are well built to equally get into the fray. I hope this is live on the Boxing Ghana platform, because that was the main idea, the main ambition. So if you just plug on to this particular domain, Boxing Ghana or Daniel David Cote's page or my page, it is indeed, we are live, and we plan to be live, definitely. So we first kickstart by running you through the synopsis of this show, and how does it go. First, we begin with news making the boxing world. So we'll try and keep you abreast with what is happening in the boxing world, talking about the latest news as far as Ghana boxing is concerned, African boxing is concerned, and the world boxing in general is concerned. So there is much more to talk about. And in that, my co-host Daniel Dekote will be helping me in that light. I'm not happy with him because he's wearing a football dress, but you can forgive me for that. That's what the lighter note. So you can also join me via WhatsApp on +1 815 302 5489. Once again, it's +1 815 302 5489. That's on WhatsApp. Other than that, join us on the platform, the page, as you can see us. Leave a comment, like, share. Let's know what you're thinking. Let's know your location. Right about now, we are airbound, so I will straight up invite Daniel David Corte in to give us the latest when it comes to boxing. We know this very morning, Tank Davis was able to upset, wasn't even an upset. I mean, it was always expected, but because of his reach advantage, talking about Romero, his reach and height advantage, many people thought that he was going to upset Tank Davis. But of course, Tank Davis had it. I think it's something that our Ghanaian boxers must take a cue from. Why? Because we have much more diminutive boxers, and normally when they are going to a bout, because of height advantage, reach advantage, they sort of get beaten before they even get into the ring. So I think it's something that they will also take a cue. But Daniel David Corte, if you can hear me, did you watch the fight yesterday or this morning as in Ghana?
Yes, I did watch the fight, and it was a mouth-watering fight. Everybody was expecting a fireworks, and I would say the fight itself lived up to the billing. It was a record groundbreaking attendance at the Staples Center in Brooklyn, and you could see, though Tank Davis is a world-class boxer, but you could see that Rolly stole the fight because of his fast talk. For the first time in Tank Davis' career, he was out talk during the press conference, during their pre-fight meetings and other stuff. He was out talked by Rolly Romero, and everybody was expecting the fireworks because prior to the fight, Rolly has predicted a round one knockout against Tank Davis. So everybody was looking up for that knockout, but the bell round, both fighters started engaging each other. Looking at the fighters and their size, you could see that Rolly is way bigger than Tank Davis. But sometimes in boxing, those size and reach and height count in boxing. But sometimes you have to box smart. You have to make your skill set come to play in the ring, and that is what Tank Davis did. Though he really was attacking Tank Davis. In the first 3 rounds, it was more or less like a close fight, but Tank Davis from the third round, he started picking up the pieces, and he started moving around so quick, well, while Rolly was the aggressor. And one mistake that he made in round 6 was punished dearly for that. And I think it was a satisfying win for Tank Davis because of the trash talk from Rolly. But at the end of the fight, I was watching the post-fight comments from Rolly, and he said he won a rematch. And which for me, I doubt that rematch can come on, because if you have been knocked out by 1 punch, and prior to the fight, you gave a lot of people hope, and a lot of people thought you are going to upset Tank Davis, but everything went south for Rolly, and he was knocked out by Tank Davis. For me, I think the lightweight division is now a real deal. The lightweight division is now a real deal. You have Tank Davis. Next week is going to be undisputed championship between Demiani and George Kambosos in Australia. You have the likes of Tank Davis also lurking around. You have the likes of Ryan Garcia. And even after the fight, Ryan Garcia was saying he wants Tank Davis in December. While Tank Davis was in the ring fighting, he was calling out Ryan Garcia, telling Ryan Garcia that he is next. So, December, we are expecting to see Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Whether that fight can be made is now between Golden Boy Promotion and Mayweather Promotion. Only if Tank Davis is going to stick with Mayweather Promotion. So I think yesterday's fight or this morning fight was lived up to the billing, and I would say those really did well, but it's not on the same level with Tank Davis. Tank Davis was smarter in the ring. He was boxing well, and his skill set came to play.
Interesting. Interesting you mentioning that, because we also know that it was going to be an upset, because you have a very confident Romero who is still undefeated. Many people call him a brawler and a boxer. And proud to the fact, you saw how confident he was. Even before he got knocked out, he was still leading on the cards. And he was still leading on the cards. And you realize how he
No, no, no. Yeah. But of course, before Rolly was knocked out, it was only ahead on one card. It was only ahead on one card. That was 47, tank 47, Rolly 48. Other two cars, tank 48, Rolly 47, tank 49, Rolly 46. So it was only doing well on one card. But looking at the magnitude of the fight, for me, even if the fight has traveled more than 6 rounds, I still expect Tank to knock Rolly out, because for me, though Rolly has the power, but he doesn't have the skills.
Yeah,
he's an awkward fighter. He doesn't have the skills. He's an awkward fighter. He throws punches from all angles. And I think yesterday he set up Tank Davis, I think in round 2, with a solid hook. But for me, it wasn't, that didn't do anything to Davis. It's from that moment that Davis realized that he can take him on, because for Tank Davis to take Rolly's best shot of the night, and he wasn't moved by that shot, that says that Tank Davis is a real deal. And for me, I kept on saying, somebody who was born and bred in Baltimore, you should know the kind of blood that ran through his veins. Like, excuse my language, it's more or less like a gangster. He has seen a lot of bad life in that part of Baltimore. So fighting Romero, who hasn't fought, for me, any credible or world-class opponent, and facing Tank Davis, definitely the stage was too big. The stage was too big for Rolly. The stage was too big for Rolly. Tank Davis has seen it all. Tank Davis has fought at 130. Tank Davis has fought at 135. He has fought at 140. And that tells you that, irrespective of his size, he's capable of matching the big guys.
Well, indeed, irrespective of his size, he's capable of matching the big guys, as Daniel David Corte puts it. But David, let's also talk about the upcoming fight. I mean, you have our own Deontay Wilder actually announcing that he's not yet retired. Of course, in his hometown, Tascalo, I hope I got the name right. They've made a statue in his honor. He plans to get back into the ring. Of course, the current WBC champion, talking about Tyson Fury, has actually tipped him to go all the way out and actually come and win the title that he lost to him, because he feels that apart from himself, there's nobody that can beat Deontay Wilder. So what do you think about Deontay Wilder coming back into the ring?
For me, I would say his return is long overdue after his trilogy loss to Tyson Fury. I would say when it comes to the heavyweight now, I would say apart from Tyson Fury, Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, Joe Joyce, and Deontay Wilder. These are the big guys in the heavyweight division. And for him to announce his comeback, I think that is what his fans are expecting him to do, because if he failed to put smiles on the face of his fans when he faced Tyson Fury for the third time, he has been honored in his hometown with a big statue, and people will be looking forward for his return, as to whether it's going to be the same Deontay Wilder we know, or it's going to be a different Deontay Wilder. So his return, and many people are expecting his return, and as to whether he's going to fight for that world title shot, or he's going to take a prelim fight before challenging for the world title, if Tyson Fury should vacate the belt and retire as he has promised. So everybody is expecting Deontay Wilder's return. And one thing people will be looking out for is it going to be the same Deontay Wilder, or is it going to be a different Deontay Wilder?
But what do you think? Is it going to be the same Deontay Wilder, or is it going to be a different Deontay Wilder? I put it to you then.
It's going to be the same Joshua Wilder. It's going to be the
You
same
think
Joshua
so?
Wilder that will give you that one knockout punch. It's like Joshua Wilder started boxing as a grown-up man. He did not start boxing when he was young. He started boxing as a grown-up man just to feed his family, and he has managed to push himself to that world stage. So, in terms of, I would say his skill set is questionable, but you can never underrate his power. His power is capable of putting anybody to sleep. Even though he lost to Tyson Fury in their trilogy fight, but he was able to put Tyson Fury down. That right hand is a weapon, and anybody that runs to that right hand will be laughing at the wrong side of their mouth. So I think it's not it's nothing is going to change about Deontay Wilder. It's going to be the same Deontay Wilder. But for me, one thing that I expect him to work on is defense. He has got great right hand. He has got great R percentage in terms of knockout ratio, but he has to work on his defense. That is the only thing that if he manages to get on his table, he's good to go.
Okay, so David, let's talk about our Ghanaian interest. Richard Lartey actually lost a couple of days ago. And of course, we'll talk about that one. But before that, I want us to talk about our own Boakye because, Saul Alvarez actually lost to Dimitri Bivol, another cracker of a fighter.
Yep.
And we all know that apart from Colum, the English guy Colum, the next person in line will probably be our own Ghanaian contender to fight Bivol, talking about Boakye. But if you watch Boakye, forgive me though, I don't think Boakye is in that same class level as Bivol. Bivol respects Boakye so much. He goes like Boakye should get some few fights before facing him. He thinks Boakye has a bright future. He doesn't think that Boakye is on the same level as him and all that. What do you think about his comments? And do you think that it would be wise for Boakye, our own Boakye, to fight Dimitri Bivol at this time?
I would say I disagree with your assertion. The reason then is before Dimitri Bivol fought Canelo, nobody like owed Bivol in ISN until he fought Canelo and beat Canelo. And it was a risk that Canelo took. It was a risk that Canelo took to fight Bivol at light heavy. It was his second fight at light heavy because he fought Kovalev at light heavy, which he beat Kovalev. So, he was using that as a springboard to fight Bivol, but he was outclassed by Bivol. Now let's talk about Boakye, Joshua Boakye. Bivol has a great amateur record, same as Joshua Boakye. Joshua Boakye is a bronze medalist. He's an Olympic bronze medalist. And since he turned pro, he has been waiting for this opportunity. He has patiently been waiting for this opportunity. Whether we like it or not, he's now the number one contender for Bivol. And the fight might happen. Though the bookmakers will be tipping Bivol to beat Joshua Boakye. But for me, I think boxing, we are in the year of uptake. If you don't hold your guards very well, if you don't go into a fight with a well strategy, you will be shocked. That is what transpired from last year when George Kambosos shocked Teofimo Lopez when Canelo was beaten by Bivol. So you are in the era of uptake. So if you are the champion, you don't hold your guns very well, you'll be shocked. Though Bivol will be tipped ahead of Joshua Boakye, but you cannot write off Joshua Boakye. He's capable of pulling the string. He's capable of surprising anybody that is put before him. So I think let's wait, let the fight be made, and let the two boxers get in the ring and see whether Joshua Boakye can make himself proud. Let's see whether Joshua Boakye can make where he comes from, because he was born in Tema, whether he can make his people proud. Though he's fighting under the flag of Britain, but he was born and bred in Ghana before moving to Britain. So let's give Joshua Boakye the chance. For me, I believe in his qualities, and I believe that he's capable of shocking Bivol.
Okay, so you believe he's capable of actually shocking people? Well, well, my heart says that.
Yeah, that is
My
that is
heart goes
boxing.
with you, but my mind goes with before I think
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
about.
that is
But
boxing. One punch can change anything. Like what happened yesterday. Just
yeah,
just just a left punch. Then Rolly was
right.
was down. So I think let's give Joshua Bashir a chance, and he's capable of shocking the ball. We cannot write him off. He's capable of shocking the ball.
Indeed, he's capable of shocking the ball, as Daniel Debucoti puts it. But let's talk about our own Richard Latte before we go to the main topic of today, because we're also going to have Derek Niasai on our platform. Too bad we couldn't go on to. Still trying to get onto the Boxing Ghana main page, which was initially supposed to be the case, but we don't know what Facebook is doing. We have no idea, but we're having crazy challenges with Facebook, and so we'll try and rectify that so that next week possibly we'll put it on the main Boxing Ghana page. But let's talk about Richard Latte. Richard Latte has lost 5 consecutive times since he lost to Daniel Dubois, a fight which I covered for Boxing Ghana some couple of years back. Afterwards, he's been back-to-back defeats. Of course, this is the second time he's losing in Russia. First against one MMA fighter, which was very surprising, I must admit. And the knockdown or the knockout was very interesting. But of course, watch here a couple of days ago, and he lost against Kuzum. What do you think about the fight itself? Before we try to get to the semantics of it.
Sammy, let's call the spade a spade. Yeah, not a big phone. For me, it was disgusting for Michilati to lose in that manner. Though he wasn't fighting under the flag of Ghana, he was fighting under the flag of Tanzania. So
Yes.
for me, it was disgusting. Yeah, he wasn't fighting under the flag of. In his last 2 fights, he wasn't fighting under the flag of Ghana. He was fighting under the flag of
You have to say it
Tanzania. So yeah, so though he's seen as a Ghanaian, but he represents Tanzania, and it's for me, it's not going to have any negative effect about Ghana boxing because he went there as a Tanzanian. But on the fight itself, it was disgusting. I watched the fight. I watched the highlights, and it was a disgusting knockout. For me, I think maybe because I've very many school of thought, as many people kept on saying that he's fighting for money, which for me I believe as as a boxer sometimes there's 2 things that comes into your mind. It's either you wrap up the win or you go in for the money, and I think that is what Mr. Latif is doing now. But he went to the fight without prepared. He wasn't well conditioned. You could clearly see from round 1 that he wasn't well prepared. He wasn't well conditioned, and his punches was just wayward. His opponent just caught him with clean shot, and that was the end of him. For me, I think Michilati has to come back if really wants to achieve something in boxing or he wants to make a name for himself. He has to come back, regroup himself, rewrite the wrong, and step up the game because this kind of symbolic performance for me is not good for his image as a boxer. If you really want to achieve something, yeah, you get the money, but what is your main focus? If your main focus is to get the money, fine now. But if your main focus is to win a title, if your main focus is to take claim in terms of making name for yourself, then you have to start putting your ass together in order to carve a niche for yourself. But if you are going for the money, then I think it's better to retire from the game because to lose in such a manner, losing 5 times continuous, and having issues with the Ghana Boxing Authority, fighting under the flag of Tanzania. It's a whole lot going on for Richard Lartey, and I think it's not good for him. He has to sit back, regroup himself, and face the challenges ahead of him.
Okay, well, indeed, he needs to sit back, regroup himself, and see the challenges ahead of him. That's according to Daniel David Korte, my co-host, as it were. We're definitely going to talk about our main topic for today. Like we said, we are always going to give you updates as far as the boxing scene in the world is concerned, the boxing scene in Africa is concerned, the boxing scene in Ghana is concerned. Right about now, in Ghana, we know that the likes of Box Office Promotions are preparing a bout of assault for our friend Lamptey. As and when we get enough information on it, we'll actually update you on that. But for now, we're just going to keep it on the ropes. We also know for a fact that Richie Comey is about to mount back into the ring. This time at the 140 LBS. That would be very interesting. Let me have your quick thoughts on that before we move to our main topic, talking about Richie Comey getting back into the ring.
Okay, for me, I think Richie Comey getting back into the ring and fighting at 140. For me, I've discussed that with him when he lost his belt against Teofimo Lopez. But he told me that let's wait and let's see what comes happening. And for me, it is a good decision for him to move up to 140 because Richie Comey is naturally a big guy, somebody who can walk around weighing 170, 140, 160. So when I heard veteran boxing promoter Alhaji Taofeeq saying Richie Comey doesn't have the physique to fight at 140, I was a little bit surprised because Richie Comey is bigger than Tank Davis. For me, Richie Comey has more punching power than Tank Davis. Yeah, but Tank Davis was able to move to 140 to beat the champion.
Yeah.
And looking at the size of Richie Comey, for me, 140 would be the best weight for him. And coming back at 140 and facing Jose Pedraza, it's a good fight. Just to announce his return to the ring after losing to pound for pound king Lomachenko. So I think his return will set a good pace for him as a challenge for another world title at 140 because now 140 is going to be packed. So Teofimo Lopez is moving to 140. Josh Taylor is in 140. Now Richie Comey is adding up to the numbers at 140, and that's I feel that that is what for me I expect him to because right after losing his belt against Teofimo Lopez, I expected him to move to 140, but he managed to fight twice at 135. And for me, there's nothing for him to prove at 135. He has proven what he has to prove at 135 because he started his career as a lightweight, and now for the past 10 years he has been at that division. Now this is the opportunity for him to move to 140, and he's fighting former world champion who lost his belt against Teofimo Lopez. He lost his belt against Tank Davis at 130. So it's going to be a very good fight. It's going to be a very interesting fight, fighting Pedraza. So I think it's good to see Richie Comey at 140, and I can't wait to see how he fare well at that weight class.
Okay, so you think it's a good matchup for him? Talking about his upcoming fight, or you were thinking that probably he should have fought some few very less guys just to keep himself afloat.
No, Richie Comey, let me just suppose this. Richie Comey and it's more or less like Errol Spence. It doesn't pick and choose. He doesn't go in for warm-up fight before going for a big fight.
So he doesn't cherry pick, as they say in boxing.
He doesn't do cherry picking. He won the big fight, and since he made his US debut, all his fight has been big fight. He has been headlining shows and getting Jose Pedraza, a former world champion. But the two boxers have something in common. Jose Pedraza beat a veteran. by unanimous decision. Ochikome stopped Rebetran. So the two boxers have something in common. Joseph Pedraza is very skillful, but can he stand the might of Ochikome in terms of that power? And for me, we all know that Joseph Pedraza doesn't have that chain to take a lot of shots. So it's going to be a good matchup for Ochikome. Fighting the the two boxers are former world champions at 135. Exactly. And it's going to be a very good matchup. It's going to be the first fight for Ochikome at 140. For Joseph Pedraza, I think in his last 2 or 3 fights, it has been at 140. It's going to be a debut fight for Ochikome at 140. And I expect him to come clean.
Okay, so indeed, this is what we will actually draw the curtains down when it comes to tidbits or news making the world of sports in terms of Ghana, Africa, and the world. So with that, Ochikome will bring a halt to that. But today, our topic is very interesting, as you would agree with me. We are actually going to zoom in on a topic which most people, have actually called me. Some have sent me messages asking me, telling me that this is a good topic that we should discuss and all that. So I think that is within context. Remember, let me give a shout out to Dennis Moore, who is watching us live. We also Ochikome as well watching us live. If you are also watching us on this page, kindly like and share. We're originally supposed to be on Boxing Ghana platform, but for some challenges Facebook, we've had to switch to our own pages. But of course, we'll try and fix that problem. Hopefully next week we don't encounter that, so that the whole world will watch it. Because many people, trust me, wanted to watch this show. We're trying to still link it to the Boxing Ghana page, as you know. We see how well it goes. But let's talk about today's topic, which is going to be very interesting. We're talking about boxers and management contracts. First of all, who is a boxer? Who is a manager? And what is a contract between these two? I will just first run you through a few things that I got so that you understand it before I actually call in Daniel David Kortey. Of course, we also have Derek Niasai, who is actually the head of communications for the Ghana Boxing Authority, who originally scheduled to be with us. Of course, he's still going to be with us. So to just give us what he thinks as far as the is concerned, I have some few documents here with the GBA. Remember, this show is more educative. Trust me, we're not going to be here bombarding you with just anything. We've done few extensive research. So whatever we're going to give you are things which are the truth and nothing else but the truth, like they say in the law court. It's got a lot of locals, so you're going to have to take it very seriously. So this is an academic sport. And if you just plug onto the domain, once again, my name is Sammy Ofusini. This is Boxing Court. And with my co-host Daniel David Kortey, we are both not in Ghana, but of course we are in Ghana because of technology. So like and share and let us hear from you. Alternatively, you can send us messages on +1 815 302 5489. Somebody just told me that mine was Daniel David Kortey and myself, and there is more, meaning that Ghana boxing is practically like on a slime. I don't know how to fix, but that is just on the funny side of face. Like they say, opinions are like the armpit, some stinky, others freshy. It's a matter of personal hygiene, however you choose to keep it. So like and share and let people know, but of course, obviously also comment as well, so that the show will get far. It's very important. We're like originally, like I told you, scheduled to be on Boxing Ghana, but due to some challenges, we couldn't. So I'll read some few things here. It says that a boxing manager is responsible for overseeing the aspects of a professional boxer's career. And which are the aspects? A boxer can choose to manage himself or herself, but often there may be too much responsibility to handle. So there are typically money business aspects that goes into making a boxer's career successful, such as setting up matches with opponents, negotiating payment, prompting the boxer to ensure high turnout at matches. A boxing manager generally receives a percentage of boxers' earning, and therefore we want a boxer to be financially profitable as much as possible, because of course you're getting your pay from whatever the boxer receives. So from what we've read, before you enter into contractual terms as a boxer, you probably should have also talked about who a boxer is, but we all know that the art of control. So that's the definition. So what it basically means is that before you get into management of a sort as a boxer, there are certain things that you need to look out for. First of all, you need to talk to whoever it is that wants to manage you. And let the person espouse to you what his ambitions are. So for instance, if it is that you yourself want to become a world title, you need to spell it out to the manager and ask the manager, what are your plans to make sure that this dream of mine is realized? So then the manager will tell you, okay, I'm going to give you these fights. Maybe start with you getting the Ghana national lightweight title. Yes, then we try and get some few titles, get you some key fights, then we go for the African lightweight title, whether it's the WBO, the WBA, the BBC, whatever. You understand? Then we proceed with some few fights, and of course, I'll get you a shot, or probably we proceed with some few fights, get you into the top 10. Then we look out for a world title fight when you get the opportunity. So these things are supposed to be spoused out to you. So you just don't select a manager because he says, yes, I'm going to manage you, I'm going to give you money every month. No, you equally have to tax the manager to espouse to you his plans for you, the kind of bouts that he will be trying to get you and all that. All those things must be in there. Then you have to equally also come into terms with the manager in terms of your promotional stuffs, like if you should have a television rights, how much is coming to you. Remember, every boxer's purse, the onus lies on the boxer to pay the association with which the person joins. Every association and the amounts they pay. We know that with the Ghana Boxing Authority, you have to pay 5% of that to that commission. Remember, the Ghana, the GBA also espoused that as and when a boxer you want to depart away from them and you want to join another sanctioning body, it's simple. You just have to let them know. So the rules are pretty clear, pretty much simple. So there are no ambiguities whatsoever. First of all, Daniel David-Cote, let me ask you and come in on this one. First, why do you think there are so many problems with boxers and management contracts, especially in
Ghana? For me, I would say mostly lack of education on the part of most of our boxers, because in Ghana specifically, when they say manager, what the boxer need is give me money every week, give me money every 2 days, without the boxers looking into their own career. That has been the problem in Ghana. Let me give you an example of how a boxer and a manager relation should be with only 2 Ghanaian boxers. I'm not being biased, but with these 2 Ghanaian boxers, I'm privy to a lot of information. I'll be close to them. Look at Richie Cummings' managerial relationship between him and Michael Amu-Bediako. Look at when Azegbegbe started, his managerial relationship between him and his dad. These are clear example of how you should position your boxer. It's not only about giving your boxer money every week, but it's about shaping the career of the boxer. Most of the boxers that we have in Ghana, because of the illiteracy, most of the managers take full advantage of them. Because of poverty, most of the so-called managers take full advantage of them. And a clear example of what happened between Richie Latte and his promoters, choke managers, when he fought in the United Kingdom. And when it comes to the split of money, there was a big issue. So for me, I think for boxers to get to the top, especially Ghanaian boxers to get to the top, they need to get a manager to shape their career. But because of poverty in the country, any boxer, any manager can just wake up and say, I've signed this boxer for 5 years, and then he's managing the boxer because of money or because of travel's advantage. Sometimes some managers uses the boxer or come into boxing, and then they tend to travel and tour agents because of the boxer. This is a clear example and the problem that we have in Ghana at the moment. And for me, the GBA as a sanction body, the GBA who supervise every professional boxing activity in the country, they should make sure that, like, the business is profitable rather than people taking advantage of the boxers. And I mean, I read through, um, I would say whether it's the constitution or laws of the GBA with
Yeah, it's
respect to,
the constitution.
yeah, with respect to contract between boxers and manager. And I saw one thing which for me I wasn't convinced. And excuse my language, for me it doesn't make sense. How will you be telling a manager to be paying maintenance fee to the gym that the boxer is training? I don't understand it. Maybe somebody from the official from the GBA can explain better. Because the
Okay.
reason I say for me it doesn't make sense is the boxer coming from the gym, the trainer has a percentage with respect to his pay. And after paying the trainer his percentage, that same boxer, you are telling his manager to go and pay maintenance fee in that gym. For me, it doesn't make sense. And because we have positioned managerial role as somebody who kept on investing money. Any fight that comes out of Ghana and it's worth like $5,000, whether his boxer is good for the is match fit for the fight or not, we just push the boxer to go and fight. And at the end, the blame or whenever the boxer go out there and lose massively, it is Ghana who is going to take that shame.
Okay.
Because we have created a way that the manager should invest, But when you come to America, it's not that way. When it comes to America, managers are shaping the career of the boxers rather than giving out money to the boxers. It is the boxers who decide. For me, boxing is more or less like a company. As a professional boxer, you are the chief executive of your own career. You have to choose what you like. You have to choose what you don't like. You have to decide for the manager. Like what Tank Davis has decided to do with Mayweather. He has told Mayweather that he wants to manage his own career. Mayweather did same against Top Rank. He succeeds, and Mayweather becomes the most highest paid athlete in the world. That is what Tank Davis is also doing. So, because of poverty in Ghana, the boxers have handed full trust to the manager, and it is the manager who decides for them with respect to their career who they should fight. As a boxer, you have the right to turn down any, let's say, mediocre boxer that your manager put in front of you. As a boxer, you have the right to turn it down, but because the wings of the boxer has been clipped because of poverty, they are undecided, and the managers just take full advantage of them because of illiteracy and because of poverty. That is the problem that we are facing in Ghana currently.
Okay, so I'll read to you, viewers. Here, like I said, this is an academic sport. We just don't say things; we speak the facts, and we are very fortunate. Of course, where Daniel David Kote was talking about the 200 cities maintenance. I don't have a problem with that. I'll be very honest with you. I think that it's only a meager amount of fee, especially if you are very understood boxer.
But the issue is, irrespective of being meager, whether being small or big, my issue is it is a constant agreement that whenever the boxer steps into the ring, win or lose, the trainer has a percentage in his pay, win or lose. And that same boxer, you expect his manager to pay a maintenance fee to the gym. For me, it doesn't make sense.
Just 200.
Irrespective of the amount, for me, it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Now watch. I see in here, and I'm going to read it. The particular side, it's the conditions that's in the sixth listed item. That's the conditions. Okay. So, and it says that the boxer and the manager being at the date here or becoming within 60 days from the date hereof because of the authority. The former holding, forgive me because I think it's not the constitution. It's I can't complain as regards to that. But basically, what he's saying is that, and the part with which David was talking about, I'm going to go there straight. It's the conditions. He says the boxer and the manager being at the date hereof will be coming within 60 days from the date of hereof members of the authority, the former holding a valid boxer's license and the latter a valid manager's license. That is, it goes II. Filing of true copy of this agreement with the authority, which is a good thing, and I must commend the GBA president for that, because they are saying that regardless the kind of agreement or contract that you sign with your manager, of course, they also need one of it, because in the past we've had instances where boxing managers in Ghana sometimes, do their own things with the contract and state something different, because some of the boxers are not so educated. They try to play a fast one with them. It says that the authority under whose jurisdiction the boxer comes being satisfied by the manager that the satisfactory arrangement for the boxer's trainer and supervision have been made. IMM, which is for as per the national allowances of the boxer, a debutant / no title holder is entitled to a minimum monthly allowance of 500 Ghana. So that means if you are just a boxer who's not achieved the world title status, you probably should be paying 500 Ghana cedis to your manager. A title holder is entitled to a minimum monthly allowance of 700 Ghana. That's cool. I mean, if you look at the likes of Isaac Dube and the rest, paying them 700, minimum 700 Ghana cedis. I mean, that's relatively. Then the side with which David has is a monthly maintenance for 200 Ghana cedis to be paid to the gym of the boxers by the manager. Okay, so they say the gym of the boxers by the manager. They didn't say the boxer. What do you say to that?
But that is.
Okay, so we'll move on. If you still don't agree with the fee, we'll definitely move on.
Yeah, because the manager is taking care of the boxer, the trainer is training the boxer, the manager is getting percentage from the boxer's pay, the trainer is getting percentage from the boxer's pay, and you are not telling the trainer to go and pay maintenance fee to the gym that he is training. For me, which gym? You understand? Because I know that so far as the boxer is paying his trainer, that trainer owns that gym. And now telling the boxer's manager to go and pay maintenance fee after investing a lot in the boxer, and now he's going to pay maintenance, irrespective of the amount, whether big or small. For me, to me particularly, excuse my language, it doesn't make sense. And secondly, the GBA has rolled out how the manager should take care of the boxer and how the boxer should treat the manager. But one thing, and I stand to be correct, one thing that the GBA is failing to do is to get security for the boxers. If I say security, I mean insurance. What is the role of the manager playing in the life of the boxer in terms of putting insurance and other things in place for the boxer? Because one punch can send somebody to his grave. One punch can paralyze somebody. So on that score, what is the GBA doing about it? Giving an assurance and making the managers get life insurance for their boxers. Because it is the boxer who is going to pay the punches. It is not going to be the manager. And it's sometimes not only about you pay and the manager paying the boxer monthly allowance, but the boxer getting some assurance that anytime that he enters the ring, whenever there is something bad that happens to him, his life is secure. So I think that is one thing the GBA should have a second look at it. And I will say it again. Paying manager paying percentage or allowance or maintenance to the gym because of your boxer, for me, the GBA has to come clear. So then what happens to the pairs between the pairs or the percentage that the boxer gives to the trainer? What happens to that?
Okay, so I guess that your point is well sound, is well made in that regard. I also must admit that I like and I'll very much admit when it comes to this boxing manager contract and stuff, I think that commendations must be given to the current GBA outfit, because I think that it's a few things that I like. I'm reading through the documents here, and it says boxer and management boxer manager and boxer articles of agreement, and I guess that's probably separate. And I like the fact that it is tasking what the manager should do, what the boxer should do. It spells out clearly when a boxer wants to abrogate a contract, what he should do. It also spells out how many years you can sign a contract with a boxer, and it says it's 3 years. Renewal, you can do 2 years subsequently. When a boxer feels like he wants to abrogate whatever relationship there is between him and the manager, there is the way. But David, there is a side that I want us to talk about. In Ghana, probably because of poverty and other things, you do have some boxers and coaches virtually becoming like managers. Okay, and I think it's probably because of monetary, or probably because we don't put so much education into some of these things. Maybe the coach feels possibly that he's taking care of the boxer, not bearing in mind that they've not signed any contract to that effect. And some of the time, some of the coaches elevate themselves to the status of being a manager, even though they have a manager to that effect, and they feel certain loyalties, certain obligations that they feel the so-called boxers must equal also like oblige to them. What do you think account for some of these things, and what can we do to make sure that these things are totally stemmed from our boxing? Because the last thing we want is for anybody to feel aggrieved and start bad-mouthing a boxer. You know, like they say, consistent positioning creates an image, and we are talking about brands here. It's very important that we keep our boxers in that limelight. We give them a good image so that their brands can sell, so that other marketable products can actually approach them and say, okay, be my brand ambassador. What do you think we can do to step that?
I think that let's set.
Well, even as you try to engage in that conversation, let me tell viewers who are actually watching us to leave a comment on our page. Leave a comment even as it's rolling. Just leave a comment. Whatever you think about this topic, like I keep telling you, we are not the custodians of knowledge. So if as and when you think that we are falling short, if there is a point of information you want to raise, a point of correction you want to raise, just let us be in the know. Of course, we'll actually try and read your comment and link it in the back. Just like I said, we're also trying to get our resource person in here. The show is supposed to have run for just an hour. We started late. That's how we've gone past the hour. We'll try and wrap up in the next 20 minutes or so. But let's hear your comments. Let's have your comments on our org. Alternatively, you can send us WhatsApp messages on +815-302-5489. Once again, if you want to send us WhatsApp messages, you can send us on +815-302-5489. That's on WhatsApp. But other than that, leave us a message, like our show, share it to other platforms so that other people can equally get the opportunity to watch. We were originally scheduled to be on Boxing Ghana platform, but due to challenges, we had to make do with our own page. So kindly do forgive us for that. Yes, David, you are about to answer me to
that. Yep. I would say let's set the record straight. There are certain boxers or boxing trainers who act as managers. And one example, clear example, is David Ennis' dad, Bill Ennis, who acts as trainer and manager for his son. But in Ghana, because of lack of contract, most of the boxing trainers assume the position of managers, trying to help the boxer. But everything should be on paper. If there is no clear-cut contract between you, the boxer, or between you, the boxing trainer, and the manager and the boxer, and something went wrong, and the boxer decided, okay, I've gotten somebody who can shape my career, and I'm moving on with that person. We shouldn't be crying foul. because it is an investment that you are making. And boxing is not just an entertainment.
The head of
Boxing is
communications
not just a sport.
is about to send you a request as and when he does. Kindly put him through so that we also get his views on this. Yeah. Go ahead. So be on the lookout for that. He will send you a request pretty soon.
Yeah. All right. I was saying that because of lack of education, sometimes maybe the boxer is being managed and trained by his coach now without without any paperwork. So whenever the boxer feels like okay, is getting his feet rooted in the game and he wants to move to higher stage and he finds somebody who sees interest in me and he finds somebody who wants to shape his career, he will definitely move with the person. But because there's no paperwork between the boxer, the trainer, stroke the manager, maybe the trainer will feel like the boxer is ungrateful. But for me, everything should be done or everything should be put on paper because boxing is not just an entertainment. Boxing is not just a sport. Boxing is now has now turned to business. And if you don't know how to do your business, somebody will just run behind you and just take whatever you want. So for me, I think the big problem in Ghana is whether you being boxer or you being boxing trainer, stroke manager, if you want to take full responsibility of a boxer's career, make sure that you put everything on paper. If you don't put anything on paper, you cannot just come back and cry foul for a boxer being ungrateful. Because it's a sport, and if the boxer is going to put his life on the line. And for me, I think it's good that the GBA has come out with this agreement. But for me, I think there are a lot of loopholes in that agreement. If the GBA should look at it, there are a lot of loopholes in that agreement. And if you get a smart manager with much intelligence, who knows what he's doing, they will just be playing the boxers around with this kind of agreement.
What are some of the things you think that should be improved from this agreement so that smart managers, as it were, will not exploit our boxers?
One, for me, I believe that an agreement should be between the boxer and the trainer. Though the sanction body has given its guidelines on how agreements should be signed between the boxer and the trainer, for me, you cannot just give time frame between the boxer and the trainer. You cannot say that the boxer should or the manager can only sign the boxer for 3 years, blah, 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 blah. It's like you are restricting the boxer or you are restricting the manager. You have to make it open. If the boxer wants to sign 1 year, fine. If the manager wants to sign the boxer 10 years, fine. That is his investment. Secondly, about the maintenance fee. For me, I strongly reject that maintenance fee, whether being 200 cedis or less than 200 cedis. I strongly reject that maintenance fee. Thirdly, the boxer's life is very important. And for an agreement that a debutant boxer should be given 500 cedis as monthly allowance, what are you saying? If I'm the investor, I am the boxing manager, and I am giving my boxer 500 cedis every month, and the boxer gets a fight in Tanzania worth $1,000, what do you think will happen? He'll just go and take the money and just sacrifice his own. So I think the 500 cedis is on the low, the 700 cedis is on the low. If you want to be a boxer's manager, you have to break the bank to invest in the sport.
So
if we are giving as low as 500 cedis and 700 cedis, if we are giving as low as 500 cedis and 700 cedis to the boxers, anybody at all can wake up and say that is a boxing manager.
Is it also because,
knowing that you can afford the 500 cedis?
Okay. Is it not because with our system and our terrain, it's also very difficult in terms of finances for boxing managers? Because there are some boxers that will equally also take advantage of the manager, be spending the manager's money, and as and when you need the boxer, it becomes a problem. For instance, let me read to you what the owner of Ace Promotions when I put this question before him. Of course, this show, like I told you, is an academic show, so we try as much as possible to get dissenting views, people who are well-versed in the game, knows the game, and he's a doctor as well. His name is Dr. Ade Opoku. And this is what I put before him, before David go ahead. I said, let me ask you, as a manager, what has been your biggest challenge as far as the craft and boxing management or management of a boxer is concerned? And this is what he has to tell me. He says, boxers not listening to plans and thinking they know better because they have been on the ring. Forgetting management and business is not the same as being in the ring. Forgetting management and business is not the same as being in the ring. You remember, David? I hope that you put the GBA communications head to.
Yeah,
then
he's online. He's online. I
say, what makes a good manager? And he says, making good decisions in the interest of the boxer in conjunction with the boxer. That was deep, and I thought that made a lot of sense as well. I mean, making those decisions with a boxer. I think this is as good as it gets, and I thought that he was. Yeah, of course. Derek has actually joined us on the line. Derek, good evening in Ghana and good afternoon here in the America. First of all, we are grateful that you are able to join us. Good evening, Derek.
Yeah, good evening in Ghana and good afternoon in the US. I'm driving, so I'll try park somewhere and then, but you can ask me any question and then we go. But I'm looking for a nice place to park and then, yes, I continue with you. But can you hear me?
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, and we are grateful for that.
That's wonderful.
Derek. If you're oblivious of Derek Neal aside, he's actually the head of communications for the Ghana Boxing Authority. He's doing some fantastic work for them in terms of PR. Whether you like it or not, the boxing league has come to stay. You can argue that there's not been any country that is successful. That's a different topic for another day altogether. But so far, it's been good, just like the professional boxing. A lot of things are going well with the current GBA and everything. But Derek, our main concentration today is a bit different. And like I said, here we are here to promote Ghana boxing and not to antagonize anybody. As and when the issues come, we definitely deal with it when it's needed to. And with me here is my co-host, Daniel David Korte. We are raising issues. We talked about boxing managers and management contract as well. What the boxers should be looking out for before they get into contractual. We also talk about the GBA draft as it were. Draft, it could be a constitution, but it's a draft agreement for both boxers and managers, which actually spells out what is expected of the boxer, what is actually expected of the manager. But this is where we need your input on. First of all, can you tell us what thinking went into this and why the GBA came out with this?
Okay, thank you very much, Sammy. First of all, you and I know the difficulty boxers and their managers have been, having in the past. I mean, it's been a difficulty. I mean, but I've been around where boxers come and said, I've not signed a contract with any manager. The manager comes and say, I've signed a contract. Show me the contract. There's nothing there. And then there are others where the boxer has signed a contract but went his way to another manager and then signed another contract. So the new administration realized that this back and forth is not helping. Why don't we come out with a generic contract? And then if you look at the contract, the sign is done at the office. So the copies are placed at the GBA office to serve as evidence. So when there is a problem, we pick this same contract and then we use the various articles under the contract to adjudicate whatever issues we have. But I think we all know that there are problems with contracts in Ghana when it comes to boxers and then their managers. So the GBA thought it wise to come out with something that and there are also situations where boxers sign contract. They said this particular one I didn't agree, but you signed. Or better still, there's something in the contract that the boxer didn't like. You and I know that most of our boxers are not educated. They just sign because they know somebody is coming to help them. And then when they come to realize that no, there are issues in the contract. They will want to just back off, not going according to the contract. So I mean, there are many factors, but the few ones or the major ones are the ones I've just highlighted to you.
Great, Derek. And I'm with you on that one. I also want to know, so far since this document came into being, have you had challenges of boxers and managers being at loggerheads or issues related to that ever since this document came to be?
Oh, several. We've had several. We've had several. In fact, that really motivated the putting up of this generic contract for every boxer to sign with his manager. I now the office runs every day. I go there, and boxers come there. They come and complain about contracts that they have signed, one that they've said they've not signed. The managers have come written. I mean, you know about the issue between Latte and then Kabi.
Yeah,
it's a matter of contract. And even this boxer we call Bullet, the issue of Bullet, and there are a lot of boxers come to the GB office complain about contract. So I think that with this generic contract, it will help them. It will help them because, in fact, when you are coming to sign, they will sit you down, explain every bit, every detail to you before you sign.
Okay, when did this document come into being? And I'm asking, ever since it came into force, has there been instances like that where boxers still come out to you guys and say they are having challenges with their managers and all that? Has there been after this document came into force?
No, with this current one, I've not seen a single boxer come to disagree with what is here. I mean, I've not seen a single boxer come to. I mean, it's not been that long. I think it's about 6 months since the administration came out with this. So perhaps maybe in the future something might come out. But and this is what we are working with. So anything that comes out, you could see there are clauses under it. When you want to back off a contract, what you must do. There are things that the boxer must do. There are things that the managers must do. So if you want to back out of this contract, you should ensure that the other party is not doing its bit of the contract, and that is what can take you off the contract. Other than that, you must comply with whatever is under the contract.
Okay, so let's go into the GBA, the document itself, and we'll be quick about it. My co-host Daniel David Potter raised some very interesting concerns there, but I'll put it for you. First of all, do you think that the clause talking about conditions, the number 6, which is the conditions?
Which part?
Number 6, conditions. It's
number 6. Okay, yes. Conditions. Yeah.
And if you can turn your attention to A, which says a debitant / non-title holder is entitled to a minimum monthly allowance of 500 Ghana cedis. Then B, it says a title holder / holder is entitled to a minimum monthly allowance of 700 Ghana cedis. Then C says a monthly maintenance fee of 200 Ghana cedis to be paid to the gym of the boxer by the manager. Can you tell me what informed this, why this came to form? What informed the originators of this particular document and why they felt the need to
okay. Thank you, sir. I'm so happy you asked this question because I've heard your co-hosts making statements on that, especially the C. So let me say that I don't know, but I learned something in management we call SLEPT. SLEPT simply means social, economic, legal, economic, political, and technological. You see, when you are going into an industry, you use this to find out where you are, what are the factors. You understand? What are the factors? What plays around? If you go and take a different market and you used to do, you may not get there. I think 500, you guys are in US. 500 Ghana cedis is peanut. You can't do anything in boxing in US. You agree with me? But when you come to Ghana, 500 for a boxer who doesn't get anything at all is big money. It's big. And let me be quick to say, the adjective there is minimum allowance. So if you can give 1 billion, it's up to you. Minimum, because I can tell you that debutant boxers are not paid anything. Boxers are not paid. Most are not paid. They are under management contract. You go to your manager, he gives you something small. What the GBA is saying that if you come and you say you want to manage a boxer, at least give the boxer something. Because there are people managing, but what they give them, when you come and say I'm sick, they give you something small to go to the hospital. That's what people go. Or they come, they give you something. So you might not even get 500 in a month. So what we are saying is that if you are not giving the boxer anything at all, ensure that you give him 500 Ghana cedis. And you know what? You know one funny thing? NAPCO, workers of NAPCO in Ghana are taking 700. So I don't think that 500 is out of place. This is just by the way. This is just by the way. Government is paying NAPCO workers 700 cedis.
Anyway, but let's also ask them. I think David want to come in.
Yes, I saw David is coming out with a
lay emphasis. David, you probably want to come in, or I should ask my next question?
Yeah, I want to come in concerning the fee. We are talking about boxers here.
Okay.
Who goes into the ring and put their life at risk. At the end of the fight, a boxer can suffer the cut. At the end of the fight, a boxer career can come to an end. And for me, irrespective of the 500 cities being the minimum, for me is on the low. As a manager, that is what I expect the GBA to do. It's not anybody that thinks like I'm able to afford 500 cities. Then we'll be having chaff managers in the system that will be duping the bosses. We'll be having chaff managers in the system that will be using the bosses as trouble at all. At least the GBA should raise the bar. At least if you cannot give money allowance of 1,000 cities to your boxer, you cannot be a boxing manager.
Okay.
Other than that, anybody call himself a manager.
David, good question. Nice suggestion. I can tell you that my president wants boxers to be paid a minimum of 2,000. I can tell you in confidence, and you will see that some boxers very soon. You see some boxers signed, and the minimum will be 2,000. But this is the issue. I'm saying that let's look at the current situation where we are and where we want to go. Currently, there are boxers with managers who don't get 500. Let's hold that one constant. They don't get 500. I realize you are chipping medical and all that. It's not stated here, but I believe that if a boxer had a cut, if you are a manager, it is your duty, it's your role to ensure that this boxer comes out. This particular cut is treated for the boxer. That is why you are the manager. It should not be part of what unless of course we are telling him when the boxer is paid the 500, you should go out there and use part of the 500 for his medical. I don't think that is the right thing to do. So the manager's role to ensure that if your boxer had a cut,
go ahead.
If your boxer get a cut, you should ensure that the boxer is treated. I mean, the 500 is the allowance. So it should not be the medical bill for the boxer. I don't think that is right. But let me state again. I mean, between David is saying that we should give 1,000, and I'm saying that we can say 1,000 or more. You understand? You can say 1,000 or more. But now he said 500. If you think that you can pay, I mean, like I said, the millions it is. Nothing prevents you from going there. I don't think that we must, especially where the catch word there is minimum.
Okay, I think the point is well sound. I mean, David is talking about the fact that we probably will have to raise it by a little bit so that we can take some of the chaff managers out. I guess you're also saying that, okay, so the minimum is 500. We want to even get it to 2,000. And very soon we'll see that coming to 4. And that's, we are hoping that we stem all that out and that we see also the economic conditions and all that. I guess we are all on the same page, more or less.
On the same platform, exactly. But David, don't worry. I'll take this feedback to. He's a man who wants to come out with a lot of changes. He wants to, take boxing to a different level. So it's a simple thing. I have heard him say that, Derek, boxers must get. See, the president of the GBA, he has a son who is in a cracker first year. He's a boxer. So I believe that he will do anything for the boxers to he spent a lot of money on the boy. So you understand this thing. So it's a good feedback. I will take it to him. That I mean, the document is saying 500. My brothers up there are saying 500 is peanuts. Why don't we make it a minimum? And I'm also happy the reason you are giving. If you remember, there was a time that license fees were increased to a particular figure. It was just because of the same reason, where people just walk into the GBA office, then they pay a peanut, then they get a manager's license. So that money was increased so that people would not just go there and just take and use it for other purposes, which you and I know. You understand? So I think that these are good feedback. I'll ensure that I relay to him first thing tomorrow morning.
Great. And I like that being a communication.
Can I talk about the C?
Now, can we do this? Yes, David. There was also another point talking about some maintenance fee that.
Yeah. So let me go there.
What informed that? Yes, let's hear.
So let me go there. David, I know you are passionate about boxing, but I want to plead with you. Manage the word small. I overheard you saying before I came on that it doesn't make sense. For me, if I don't understand anything, I will not say it doesn't make sense because the thing you don't even understand.
Derek,
so if you don't understand, you say it doesn't make sense.
Opinions are like everybody that one. Opinions are like something to other expressions matter what side. So let's hear your opinion. That's all.
Okay, so I'm saying that see
the reason why
okay, David, come so that I conclude.
I say that the reason why I said it doesn't make sense is I know for sure that every trainer take a percentage in every boxer's pay. And now the GBA is telling the managers to pay maintenance fees. That is why I said for me, I don't get it.
Okay. So thank you. I heard your explanation. You understand? I heard your explanation, but you made mention of the fact that you don't know what went into it. So if you use the word, it doesn't make sense. That thing you don't understand, how does it not make sense? Because you understand and make.
I never said that I don't understand. For me, I get the reason. I get the reason that the trainers are getting percentage from the boxers pay, and at the same time.
Great. Derek, let's get this. I appreciate it very much when we don't put on words. I would be very grateful if you can just stick to the matter and the issue. Leave that one to me. Okay. So let's hear you. What informed that? What informed the listeners? Yes.
Yeah.
They get a fight. So imagine a boxer fight 2,000 Ghana cedis. He's trained over 2 years and the price is only 2,000 Ghana cedis. How can the gym be maintained? I can tell you that this document you see, a lot of research has gone into this document, and I can tell you that these are things that owners of gyms. And in any case, you see, I know trainers who don't have a gym. They are attached to gyms, so they go there to train their boxers there. You understand? So let's not put everything together. You understand? If out there boxers fight, I mean big pairs, that's one. Number two, they fight occasionally, so the boxer is always almost doing something that will bring something to the gym. In our case, I mean there are gyms that I can tell you, if you follow the edition on Mass TV, most of the trainers, the managers who get to that show will tell you that this particular boxing league has helped them, because either two boxers who can train. I know boxers who stop boxing because they train the whole year without the fight. They don't have anybody to give them a fight. But the gyms must be maintained. Charlie, if you go to some of the gyms, in fact, the last 2 months I visited almost every gym. If you go to some of the gyms, and brother, it's an eyesore. It's not a place that boxers should train. If these gym owners are taking these peanuts, 200 Ghana to get a place, rent a place, and pay something small there, so that these boxers are trained, I think that will go further. I must see this particular. Even for me, it's too small. For me, this particular money, because if you go and look at Atokwashi, sorry, Akotoku Akadam, go and look at Akotoku. Go and look at Akotoku, Fish Square. Go and look at some of the gyms. I mean, it's an eyesore. It's an eyesore. So these things for me are good for the maintenance of the gym, not the maintenance of the gym owner. The gym must stay there for the boxer to come. The gym must be there for the boxer to come. So I think that these are some of the reasons why that particular maintenance fee was put there.
Okay, great. I guess we put the explanation. David, you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm still on that point. I'm still on that point. My point is, I don't want to mention a particular gym, but we all know that.
I cannot hear David.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, David. Derek. First of all, let's say this.
I don't know, but I cannot hear anything coming from David. I see David speaking, but I can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Can you project? Yeah.
No.
Go ahead. Say what you want to say. I'll project it to you. Let's say it, David.
I was saying that almost 70% of the gym in Ghana are privately owned. So,
can you hear me?
No, Derek. I'll tell you whatever he says. Okay, let's go, David.
I'm saying 70% of the gym in Ghana.
Sam,
are privately
I heard you, but it was faint. But I can't hear whatever David is saying.
I'll whatever David says. He's posing a question. In order for us not to drag it, I will re-echo whatever he says to you so that you can answer to that effect. David, yes, go ahead.
I'm saying that 70% of the gym in Ghana are privately owned.
Which is true.
They are headed by trainers. Who, for me, like you said, before the boxer there is a gym. And for me, the trainers, at least irrespective of the person's level, my point is that same boxer and his manager are paying the trainer percentage, and that same trainer and that same manager is going to pay maintenance fee. For me, it's going to, irrespective of how small or big the money is, definitely it's going to take a toll effect on the manager, because if I am the manager and I'm paying maintenance fee, then I'll pay that to the boxer, and which is going to affect the boxer indirectly in terms of financial reward. That is the point that I was trying to make. If I am the manager and everything in terms of the money is coming from me, paying monthly allowance, paying bills, maintenance for the gym, I'll definitely I'm investing, and I'll use that to build the boxer, and indirectly it's going to affect the boxer financially. That is my point.
Well, okay, David, I heard you. You see, I think that we must domesticate the discussion. I don't know whether, David, I believe you've been to some gyms in Ghana, and you know what pertains there. Like I said, I've visited gyms the past 2 months, almost every gym in Ghana. About that, I think that it's like saying that a student should go to a classroom, doesn't care how the classroom look like. The parent will say, "Oh, I pay school, I give money to my child to go to school. Whether the classroom is good or there are tools and equipment that a guy or the student will use in learning, me, I don't care, because I pay, I give my child some money to go to." That's basically. Let's practicalize the issue. I can tell you that seriously, our gyms need maintenance. And if you look at our coaches, my brother, you can find out from if you know some coaches, you can talk to them. You can talk to them how they manage their some have moved the place that they've rented, they have moved out. And we want to build, we may get to a level in boxing, and I believe that is all we all crave to be. We'll get to a level that now some of these things will not even come out, will be too trivial. But we must start from a point. We must start from somewhere. We must start from somewhere before we can move this boxing business where we want it to be. But I can tell you that it was bad some time back. I mean, it's been we've treated boxing as something unimportant. I can tell you. I mean, the few months that I have spent close to the administration, I can tell you that boxing can give us a lot if we do it and we do it well. That is what I believe, and I think that some of these basic introductions. I mean, you will get to a time you just may not need all these things. You just scrap it. But for a start, I can tell you that all these things are important. You can talk to maybe in our next program, you can bring on a trainer. I mean, you can bring on a trainer. You can bring on a gym owner, and then maybe you can appreciate when it's coming from their side.
Okay, definitely. This is where Derek will let you go. I think you've been very resourceful to us. He is very after. Of course, we'll try and bring you next week. We'll try and come up with a topic, but I know for a fact we'll be also talking about the
Yeah,
administration of the
Sam, it
GPA.
looks like you are concluding, but I'm not hearing. So when we finish, you can update me.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So you can let go now and probably watch us. And we are very grateful for your time. You've been very helpful and resourceful. I'm sure that whatever explanation that you gave, a lot of people discerning opinion will also discern as well, and probably know whether or not it sounds. Of course, like I said, we are here. Myself and Daniel Debikote. I'm the host. Daniel Debikote is the co-host. We are here to make sure that people in authority are accountable to certain things which are very important to us. At the end of the day, what we are looking for is the promotion of Ghana boxing. Trust me, we are not here to malign. We are not here to backbite. We are not here for an agenda. We are here to promote simply Ghana boxing. So when we are hard with certain questions, it is probably because we want good answers so that people will appreciate where we are coming from. I mean, we were handling boxing even before we traveled. So when we've traveled, we also know the situations back in Ghana. We are trying to make sure that boxing is treated and treated very well in Ghana. So we are grateful to Derek Niasai, who is actually the head of communications for the Ghana Boxing Authority, for his explanations. David, what do you make of Derek's explanation before we proceed and probably wrap up the show, because we've done more than the hour mark? Yeah.
For me, I would say that he has done the Lord's work. He's part of the association, and definitely being head of communication of the GDA, he has done what he has to do. But for me, I still ask my reservations in terms of the allowances and the maintenance fee and some things, though we did not touch on all of the things in the contract, but I have my reservations with respect to many things in the contract. But for me, hey, you have to give it all out to Derek because he's defending his association, and we cannot hold grudges to what he is saying. He might have his opinion, I have my own opinion, but all we are looking for is the betterment of the sport. Like I kept on saying, I want to wake up one day and Ghana will be the mecca of boxing in Africa. Ghana will be a place that people will be flying from United Arab Emirates, will be flying from Senegal just to come and live in Ghana, box in Ghana, and earn good money in Ghana. That is what I'm looking for, and I think it's not going to come on a silver platter. And I think the GBA, they are doing what they have to do, but at least they have to put in a lot of effort in order to make the boxers feel at home.
Well, of course, David, you've made very sound arguments, and I couldn't agree with you the more. Just like I also must admit that I also like the submission of Derek Niasai. Yes, he's the communications director. He tried as much as possible to do his work. I think he's done diligently well in that regard, just like David is even commending him for. There are certain things that we still need to iron out when it comes to our boxing. I'm sure that we'll revisit this topic again, talking about boxers and managing contract. Like David said, this show is much more interactive, and I gave the WhatsApp line to you. I've had tons of messages. You will not imagine. There are more messages from the US of A than even from Ghana. That's weird. That's very interesting. Maybe some from Saudi Arabia and South Africa are more than what came from Ghana. So, like we said, we'll try and do justice to that effect. I'll read a couple of, maybe a few messages. And but David, next week we're thinking of discussing the executives of the GBA and whether or not those positions should be held as interim as it's espoused in the constitution, or they should do it full time and be paid so that they can be held accountable for it. Because, for instance, I don't think anybody would begrudge a communications person or communications director or anybody in that regard if you call the person and the person is probably doing something and is not able to honor your invitation. But that's semantics. I mean, these are semantics. These are things that we would like your opinion on it. Like we said, we are not the custodians of the issues. We just bring it out there. We give our opinion. Like they say, opinions are like the armpit, some stinky, others fresh. It's a matter of personal hygiene. So we give our opinion. You give yours as well. And then the jurors out there is the viewers who are watching. That's the jury. They determine whether or not what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And then we want to see the progression of Ghana. So David, let me have your bit on that. Then we wrap up the show. Read a few messages. Yes, then we wrap up the show.
For me, I think the Ghana Boxing Authority, anybody that is put there is just to serve the nation, is just to serve the progress of the sport. Because I kept on saying the last time we had a world champion was in Richie Conley. That was around 2019. Since he lost his bet, we have not come close to a world title shot. So I think for me, though, like Derek said, we shouldn't be like comparing like what is happening in America to what is happening in Ghana. But at least that is the only yardstick that we can do, because Ghana we claim to be a boxing nation. We cannot compare ourselves to Senegal. We cannot compare ourselves to Togo. We cannot compare ourselves to Burkina Faso. Now, in terms of boxing, in terms of professionalism, now Namibia boxers are fighting at the highest level, more than our boxing. And for me, I kept on saying it's only 2 Ghanaian boxers that are lifting the flag of Ghana very high, and it is very, 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 very abysmal. So I think for the GBA, anybody that get a position to be at the GBA should do his utmost best, take personal sentiment from running the association, just be professional and push the sport very high.
That's sound coming from Daniel David Cote, my co-host. Of course, he's made a very important point. Like I said, this is where indeed we need to draw down the curtains for this edition, but I'm not sure I'll do justice if I wrap up the show without reading a few messages, and I'll read a few of them here. This one says that though you guys had challenges, I still enjoyed the show. I think it's a good start, and that's from Richmond. I think Richmond is here in the US of A. This one from okay, so this one is from Abyss Anam. I don't know what's, but your name is very interesting. It goes like, great show. I like it. I think that next time you should stick to your time. Of course, yes, we had challenges. That's how come we couldn't stick to our time. And your comment is actually fair. It's just a 1-hour show. At most, we'll travel beyond like 15 minutes or so, just to give you guys the opportunity to come in. I also got some messages in there. We'll try and make sure some of the comments are well done. They are Richard comments things that they are greedy. I'll put that comment within context. I understand the champ and his frustrations. Of course, he's had frustrations. Yeah. But this is what we're trying to do as a boxing kingdom, as a boxing dom. We're trying to bring everybody involved. We're trying to mend where there are errors. We're trying to make sure we fix all those. We're trying to bring everybody together in the boxing fraternity so that we can move Ghana boxing forward. And that's what we intend doing. All the messages are singing our praises, saying that this is a good show, it's going to last, and that we should bring topical issues. Listen, we don't discuss the topic for the day. If you want us to discuss something, you can bring it to our fore. Our editorial team will go through it, make the production to that effect. Of course, we'll bring it on set and bring the people who are concerned to equal also come and explain their part of it. Like I said, this is a boxing court, and we here are just the judges, but we don't really judge the case. At the end of the day, you guys are the jurors, okay? As it's a jury, So you guys are the ones that will give your opinion at the end of the day when we bring all those resources to make their submissions. We are just here to make sure we guide you throughout the processes. We bring the resource people. The resource people actually are the witnesses, and that's it. You make your own decision. David, let me have your final quick words, and we wrap up the show right away.
I would say I have to thank viewers, and I have to thank Derek for coming on board to put more spice on the boxes and the managers agreement. And what I will say is next week is going to be another topical issue. And though today we had a lot of challenges, but hey, we are here to save you all. And I would say everybody should stay glued to my page, to Samin's page, to Boxing Ghana's page for next week's a topical issue. And next week is going to be fire.
Great. It's definitely going to be fire next week. Richard Gomez said when they start doing the right with the boxers, the state of Ghanaian boxing will change. I love that. I think that covers everything right there. And of course, they're putting certain things in store. And I hope that we, as what would be the right word for us to use? We need to make sure that we police some of these things so that this thing will come to reality. What I would say is that it's been a great show. Though we had challenges, we promise you that next week we'll make sure we fix all those challenges with Facebook so that we can actually project it on Boxing Ghana, because there are so many people that were actually anticipating it. As a matter of fact, by the time we started the show, we had over 100 people watching. So you can imagine. So next time, which is next week, we'll try and project. We did the test tries and everything, but I don't know what happened. It has something to do with Facebook. David and I tried our best, but like I said, this is technology, and we'll try and nip it in the bud next week, definitely. But do pen down the number if you want us to discuss anything that is probably dear to your heart. And the number once again is +815-302-5489. Once again, it's WhatsApp solely. It's 815-302-5489, and the code is 1 because it's a US number. Many thanks once again to you. To Dennis Moore, to Richard Comey, to Derek Niasai, to viewers who made time to watch us from their homes. We are so grateful to you, and we'll be back same time next week. Do take care of yourself. Bye for now. I'm going to leave you with this very interesting sitting, which happened some time back and is on the Boxing Ghana page. So take care of yourself, and do see you same time next week. David, we are back same time next week. So we tell viewers, bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.